Have you ever wondered how the world descended into the chaos of World War II? It's a question that lingers in the minds of many. A question that takes us back to a time of global unrest and conflict, to one of the most significant events in human history. The cataclysm that was World War II did not emerge from a vacuum. Its roots are deep, twisted, and complex. Today, we take a journey back in time to understand the events that led to the outbreak of this devastating war. Our journey begins at the end of World War I, with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. This treaty, crafted by the victors, held the defeated Germany responsible for the war and imposed on it severe penalties. Germany was required to relinquish territory, reduce its military, and pay reparations that totaled billions of dollars. Considered by many as a dictated peace, the treaty stirred a profound sense of humiliation and resentment among the German people. Their economy was crippled, their military pride wounded, and their national esteem deeply scarred. The once powerful nation was now seen as weak and disgraced, fueling a desperate desire for change and retribution. This bitterness, simmering in the heart of Germany, found resonance with a certain charismatic figure, a man who promised to restore Germany's honor and power. This resentment, left unchecked, would soon lead to a tragic sequence of events. In the midst of economic hardship and social unrest, a charismatic leader rose to power in Germany. This man was Adolf Hitler, who would become one of history's most notorious figures. Born into humble beginnings, Hitler was a decorated veteran of World War I. He joined the German Workers' Party in 1919, which later became the National Socialist German Workers' Party, more commonly known as the Nazi Party. Hitler's charisma, coupled with his fiery speeches, quickly elevated his standing within the party. By 1921, he was its leader. The Nazi Party's ideologies were rooted in a toxic mix of extreme nationalism, racial purity, and anti-Semitism. They painted a picture of a superior Aryan race and scapegoated others, particularly Jews, for Germany's woes. Hitler and the Nazi Party exploited the anger and frustration simmering among the German people, who were disgruntled by the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles and the economic hardship it brought. In 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. He quickly dismantled democratic institutions and established a totalitarian regime. By 1934, he had declared himself Führer, becoming the absolute ruler of Germany. The Nazis embarked on a path of aggressive expansion and militarization, violating the Treaty of Versailles. Hitler's rhetoric and policies stoked the flames of nationalism, preparing Germany for a war that he believed would make it the dominant power in Europe. With Hitler at the helm, Germany was set on a collision course with the rest of the world. The first blow was struck in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. This was an act of aggression that shocked the world and marked the start of the deadliest conflict in human history, World War II. Germany's invasion of Poland was swift and brutal. Under the command of Adolf Hitler, the German forces launched a surprise attack on the 1st of September, ignoring the international laws that had been established to maintain peace. The Polish army, ill-prepared for such an onslaught, was unable to resist the mechanized might of the German military. The city of Warsaw, once a bustling metropolis, was reduced to rubble within weeks. The world watched in stunned silence as Poland fell. Nations that had once believed in the sanctity of treaties and the promise of peace now faced the grim reality of a world at war. The League of Nations, a body formed to prevent such conflicts, was powerless to intervene. The international community was in disarray, scrambling to respond to the crisis. But the invasion of Poland was just the beginning. Hitler's ambition was not limited to Poland. His eyes were set on the whole of Europe, and he was willing to plunge the world into chaos to achieve his goals. The invasion of Poland was a demonstration of Nazi Germany's military prowess, a warning to the rest of the world. Despite the international outcry, Hitler was undeterred. He had already made his intentions clear. Germany would not stop until it had achieved its goal of world domination. The invasion of Poland was the first step in a grand plan that would lead to the deaths of millions and change the course of history forever. The world had hoped that the horrors of the First World War would serve as a deterrent to future conflicts. But the invasion of Poland shattered this illusion. The world was once again on the brink of war, and this time the stakes were even higher. Despite international condemnation, the war machine had already been set in motion. The stage was set for the most devastating conflict in human history. The beginning of World War II had arrived. as the war spread, it brought with it devastation on an unimaginable scale. Our gaze now turns to the heart of Europe, where the invasions of France and Russia marked critical turning points in the war. France, a country known for its resilience, fell within a mere 6 weeks. Its surrender to the Axis powers left Europe in a state of shock, underlining the strength of the German military machine. Meanwhile, Hitler turned his sights eastward, towards Russia. This was a decision that would ultimately prove disastrous. The vastness of Russia, coupled with the harsh winters, made the German advance a grueling task. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought amidst the relentless Russian winter, resulted in catastrophic losses for the German army, marking a significant shift in the war's momentum. Across the Atlantic, the United States had maintained a stance of neutrality. But the unexpected bombing of Pearl Harbor by the Japanese forces in late 1941 changed everything. The attack brought the United States into the war, adding a powerful new player to the Allied forces. Yet, amidst the chaos of war, an even darker chapter was unfolding. The Holocaust, orchestrated by Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime, led to the systemic extermination of 6 million Jews. This genocide remains one of the most horrific acts of inhumanity in human history. The war was not just a series of battles and invasions, but also a human catastrophe. The loss of human life was staggering, with an estimated 70 to 85 million deaths, a chilling testament to the destructive power of war. Economies were shattered, cities were razed to the ground, and countless lives were forever changed. World War II, a war that started with the invasion of a single country, had now consumed the entire globe. This war was not just about the fight for territories or political dominance, but also a struggle for the very essence of humanity. It was a stark reminder that peace, once lost, is not easily regained. In the span of 6 years, World War II had forever altered the course of human history. Starting with the punitive Treaty of Versailles, we saw how the stage was set for the rise of a dictator, Adolf Hitler, whose ambition and ideology plunged the world into chaos. Hitler's rise to power was not without warning signs, but the world was ill-prepared to counter his aggressive moves, such as the invasion of Poland. The war unfolded with devastating consequences. From the cities reduced to rubble, to the countless lives lost and the economies shattered, the impact was felt globally. What started as political maneuverings and territorial ambitions quickly escalated into a full-scale war that tested the limits of humanity. As we reflect on the events that led to World War II, we are reminded of the importance of diplomacy, understanding, and peace in our own time. The lessons from this war continue to resonate, reminding us of the costs of conflict and the value of unity.